tiene una historia de evolución constante. Hemos alcanzado metas importantes gracias al esfuerzo, talento, voluntad y unidad de los integrantes de nuestra comunidad académica, científica y administrativa. Tenemos la visión de alcanzar el reconocimiento internacional y desde la Facultad de Ingeniería trabajamos arduamente para cumplir esta meta importante. Esta mañana la carrera de Ingeniería en Tecnologías de la Información ha unido el esfuerzo y el talento de su equipo para presentar la segunda edición de su Congreso Internacional titulado IC Talk 2022. En el 2021 el Congreso fue un éxito para la carrera de Ingeniería en Tecnologías de la Información y para la Universidad Nacional de Chimborazo. Con esta motivación, se propone una vez más este evento científico que en el 2022 ofrece 11 talleres y 10 charlas organizadas entre los días 21 y 25 de febrero del 2022. Todos estos espacios se ofrecen de manera virtual, sin costo para los asistentes. Les damos gracias a nuestros invitados especiales y a cada uno de ustedes por su gentil asistencia esta mañana en la que inauguramos el Congreso IC Talk 2022. Saludamos de manera especial a las autoridades de la Facultad de Ingeniería que nos acompañan esta mañana, el doctor Patricio Villacrés, decano, y la doctora Lorena Molina, subdecana. Expresamos el saludo también al ingeniero Jorge Delgado, director de la carrera de Ingeniería en Tecnologías de la Información, y de manera especial nuestro reconocimiento y el saludo atento al comité organizador del Congreso IC Talk 2022, así como a sus docentes y estudiantes colaboradores. A cada uno de nuestros asistentes, muchas gracias por su gentil asistencia, gracias por ser parte de los esfuerzos de la Facultad de Ingeniería, porque con su compromiso y su esfuerzo, cada día nos posicionamos como una de las mejores universidades de América Latina. Invitamos a la doctora Lorenita Molina, subdecana de la Facultad de Ingeniería, quien esta mañana nos ofrece el saludo de bienvenida. Bienvenida, doctora.
Muchas gracias, estimada Gaby. Distinguidas autoridades institucionales, distinguidos conferencistas, distinguidos profesores y estudiantes de la Facultad de Ingeniería, especialmente de nuestra carrera de Ingeniería en Tecnologías de la Información, distinguidos participantes de las diferentes instituciones y esferas geográficas, a todos quienes nos honran con su participación en este emblemático evento, reciban un cordial a nombre de la Facultad de Ingeniería de la UNAS. El día de hoy me siento complacida el poder dirigirme a este selecto grupo de estudiantes, profesores, investigadores y comunidad en general que se ha dado cita a este cálido y científico evento. En nombre de IC Talk 2022, les doy la bienvenida a este evento organizado por la carrera de Ingeniería en Tecnologías de la Información de la Facultad de Ingeniería de la Universidad Nacional de Chimborazo, Riobamba, Ecuador. Un espacio ideal para compartir e intercambiar conocimientos. Me permito expresarles de manera personal mi regocijo por la participación de cada uno de ustedes en este magno evento y mi invitación a disfrutar de esta semana de la programación de nuestro IC Talk. Sean ustedes nuevamente bienvenidos. IC Talk y UNAS estamos en movimiento. Muchas gracias.
Muchas gracias a usted, doctora Lorenita. En este 2022, IC Talk cuenta con el respaldo de 11 instituciones académicas a nivel local e internacional. Dentro de ellas se incluye la Universidad Yachaitec, UTPL, UDLA, la Universidad del Mar de la Plata, el Imperial College de London, el Grupo de Investigaciones MOTSIM, la Universidad Surrey y Hakem Cybersecurity Research Group. Invitamos de esta manera al ingeniero Jorgito Delgado, director de la carrera de Ingeniería en Tecnologías de la Información, quien esta mañana nos proporciona más detalles sobre el evento. Bienvenido, ingeniero Jorgito.
Buenos días, un saludo fraterno al señor decano de la Facultad de Ingeniería, al doctor Patricio Villacrés. De igual manera, ese saludo a la doctora Lorena Molina, subdecana de la facultad y docente de nuestra carrera, a nuestros docentes y estudiantes. Un saludo fraterno también a aquellos profesionales graduados que están siendo parte también de este evento, IC Talk 2022. Durante el año anterior se fue planificando el desarrollo de esta actividad que permita la participación de investigadores y de docentes de nuestra universidad y de fraternas universidades a nivel nacional e internacional. Vivimos en la actualidad una sociedad digitalizada, vivimos en la actualidad una sociedad en la que las tecnologías de la información se constituyen en un elemento fundamental en el desarrollo de las actividades, tanto en empresas como en industrias. Es así que se ha organizado un evento que está considerado en las mañanas el desarrollo de conferencias y en la tarde el desarrollo de talleres. En cada uno de estos eventos, los docentes, los investigadores van a compartir cuáles son los últimos trabajos que vienen desarrollando, muchos de ellos con un aporte a lo que es el sector de industria, a lo que es el sector de empresa, y desde ahí la valía para que podamos retroalimentar todo ese conocimiento y que pueda ser también esa motivación para que docentes, estudiantes, sobre todo nuestros estudiantes de los últimos semestres, puedan encontrar ahí la oportunidad para desarrollar sus trabajos de graduación, para desarrollar proyectos que también a nivel local sean ese aporte en el desarrollo de la sociedad. Invitarles a que participemos de cada una de estas actividades. En cada uno de los eventos habrá un proceso de registro de asistencia para cumplir con la normativa propia del evento. Mencionarle que este EasyTalk 2022 tiene la base institucional y por ende también al final se hará la revisión de la asistencia para la entrega de certificados. Auguramos muchos éxitos en este evento y que todos ustedes encuentren ese espacio en el cual se sientan motivados, conozcan cuál es el aporte que las tecnologías de la información vienen realizando a nivel de la sociedad. Gracias a todos.
Muchas gracias por su intervención, ingeniero Jorgito. Como se ha mencionado previamente, EasyTalk 2022 es un espacio para que académicos, investigadores, estudiantes y otros profesionales a nivel nacional e internacional compartan conocimientos y experiencias relacionadas a la ingeniería en tecnologías de la información y comunicación. Les invitamos una vez más a conocer más sobre este importante evento a través del sitio web easytalk2022.unach.edu.es. De esta manera estamos listos entonces para recibir al doctor Patricio Villacrés, decano de la Facultad de Ingeniería, quien esta mañana nos da el honor de aperturar de manera oficial el evento EasyTalk 2022. Adelante, por favor, doctor.
Muchas gracias. ¿Ustedes sí me escuchan?
Sí, doctor, muchas gracias.
Ok, muy amables. Gracias por confirmar el audio. Bueno, ante todo, un saludo muy cordial a la compañera Lorena Molina, su decana de la Facultad de Ingeniería, a Jorge Delgado, al director de la carrera de Tecnología de Información. Un especial saludo a los expositores de este evento científico, académico, a los docentes de la carrera, como también de la Facultad de Ingeniería, y por supuesto a los beneficiarios también directos de esta propuesta, a nuestros jóvenes estudiantes. Miren, solamente haciendo una retroalimentación, un segundo congreso internacional, ¿sí? De innovación, de investigación y tecnologías de la información y comunicación. Un segundo congreso. Mientras yo revisaba las temáticas que se van a abordar, tecnología 5G, cloud computing, seguridad informática, inteligencia artificial, entre otros, ya nos da una visión del impacto importante de abordar con seriedad temas tan novedosos en algunos casos, tan importantes en otros, pero sobre todo que van a ir fortaleciendo la formación profesional de nuestros ingenieros en tecnologías de la información, sobre todo. La Facultad de Ingeniería en realidad ha dado pasos agigantados en temas de investigación. Nos falta muchísimo por hacer, desde luego, pero pienso que estamos avanzando bien, y gracias al trabajo, gracias a este tipo de iniciativas, al aporte de todos quienes hacemos la Facultad de Ingeniería. Esto no es casualidad, compañeros, esto es consecuencia del trabajo que todos ustedes y nosotros motivamos y desarrollamos permanentemente con el apoyo de nuestras autoridades. Nosotros sí hemos concebido, al menos desde que hacemos gestión en este decanato, que la investigación realmente estimula ese pensamiento crítico, la creatividad. Es justamente a través de estos dos componentes que este proceso de aprendizaje se vitaliza. Estamos combatiendo la memorización, la simple memoria que nos quedó como herencia de una educación tradicional y que realmente lo que ha hecho es formados de manera pasiva, profesionales que en realidad no sean tan amantes al desarrollo de la investigación. Entonces, miren, en cambio ahora hemos ido gestionando un cambio de pensamiento, un nuevo cambio, un paradigma diferente, para que comencemos a generar jóvenes profesionales amantes de la innovación, con una gran curiosidad y con iniciativa personal, que creo que es importante entender que eso lo hemos ido construyendo con todos estos eventos que hemos ido gestionando. Y por supuesto, ¿no? La investigación que lo que genera conocimiento. El conocimiento permite que nos reinventemos permanentemente, que generemos mecanismos necesarios para plantar soluciones, pero soluciones de nuestro contexto social, un reto al futuro, haciendo y de las comunidades, los sectores, hacia dónde incidimos como universidad. Entonces, esta investigación que aporten a la sociedad, que le aporten al país, que le aporten bien del mismo. Es interesante la indexada científica, nueva sinergia, miras a una indexación. Hemos gestionado ya 2 versiones del Congreso Andina de Ingeniería, Construcción, Tecnología e Innovación, por ejemplo, que lo terminamos de hace mucho, en donde todas las carreras realizaron una serie de talleres y eventos también en esta sala, con temáticas vanguardistas y también con productos tangibles de la investigación que hacemos en nuestra universidad y en nuestra Facultad de Ingeniería, en CAITI 2019-2021. A lo largo de la trayectoria académica ya se ha ido gestionando, gracias a la iniciativa de varios docentes, patentes que tenemos que se consiguieron junto con jóvenes estudiantes. Cada una de las carreras va haciendo lo suyo. Recuerdo que se desarrollaron hace mucho también las 8ª jornadas industriales, parece que fue en febrero de 2020. Fuimos reconocidos por Seria al mejor investigador del año, al doctor Luis Tello. Hemos generado proyectos de investigación en telecomunicaciones, por ejemplo, que se han mostrado en Yachaitix. Hemos generado congresos internacionales también en ingeniería civil, en arquitectura, en agroindustrial, incluso con su sello personal, hablando de emprendimientos y propuestas de investigación que inclusive generaron microempresas locales que hoy por hoy se encuentran funcionando. Entonces, miren cómo esta transferencia de conocimiento, ya no solamente de información, es importante mencionarlo, permite que los resultados de estas investigaciones, ahí viene la articulación, esos descubrimientos, los hallazgos científicos, la propiedad intelectual, la tecnología, los datos, los conocimientos, fluyan entre todas las partes. Y así hacemos ciencia, así hacemos investigación, entendiendo que nuestro producto, si queremos hablar en términos empresariales, es un profesional ingeniero con altísimo nivel académico, competitivo, investigador, que permita también transferir conocimiento a los sectores industriales, al campo, al área en la cual vayan a desenvolverse ya en su vida profesional. Entonces, yo pensaré siempre que ya cuando hablamos de gestión de conocimiento, de transferencia, ya tenemos que hablar de un modelo de gestión de conocimiento con un procedimiento para hacerlo. Y en eso pienso que todas las facultades, en este caso la de ingeniería, debería comenzar a trabajar para asegurar justamente el anclaje de la investigación y la articulación de esta a la gestión nova del conocimiento científico en nuestra universidad, en nuestra facultad y a nivel de país. Con esto, pues yo quiero nuevamente felicitar al comité organizador, felicitar a la carrera, porque todos sabemos que detrás de esto se encuentra todo un movimiento logístico, una serie de actores que dan vida a que este tipo de eventos se puedan gestionar. Nuevamente motivar a nuestros estudiantes a que aprovechemos al máximo de congresos de este tipo que no se dan con mucha frecuencia en otras universidades. Les comento, mucho más leyendo la calidad y la talla académica de los expositores, pienso que este es un evento de muchísimo éxito, un evento que va a fortalecerles como carrera. Yo me siento muy complacido de que esto se genere permanentemente en nuestra facultad y motivarles también a que continuemos, que hay un tercero, un cuarto, un quinto congreso, porque estoy seguro que de esa manera nos enriquecemos todos, todos definitivamente. Con estas palabras, pues declaro inaugurado el segundo congreso ICTOC 2022. Muchas gracias,
Muchísimas
compañeros.
gracias.
Un buen día para todos.
Muchas gracias por
Muchos
su
éxitos.
intervención. Doctor Villacrés, muchísimas gracias. De esta manera queda inaugurado de manera oficial el Congreso ICTOC 2022. Les pedimos a nuestros asistentes permanecer dentro de este mismo enlace. Conectados en esta sala de Zoom, estaremos dando paso en breve a la primera conferencia de esta mañana, gracias a la colaboración del magíster Yuri Santiago con el tema Plataforma Enem para Brasil. De igual manera, aprovechamos el momento para reiterar el agradecimiento a los auspiciantes que han hecho posible este evento esta mañana. Este evento ha sido realizado con el gentil auspicio y colaboración de 11 instituciones académicas a nivel local e internacional. Dentro de ellas se incluye la Universidad Yachaitec, UTPL, UDLA, la Universidad Nacional del Mar de la Plata, el Imperial College de London, el Grupo de Investigación MOTSIN, la Universidad de Surrey y Hacken Cybersecurity Research Group. De igual manera, reiteramos el agradecimiento a Info Project, quienes han tomado también el liderazgo en la organización de ICTOC 2022. Les invitamos a nuestros asistentes también a conectarse y a conocer un poco más sobre el evento y la agenda de actividades a través del sitio web ictoc2022.unach.edu.es. Les recordamos a nuestros asistentes también que todos los participantes recibirán un certificado por 40 horas, siempre y cuando se cumpla con un porcentaje del 75 al 100% de asistencia en todo el evento. Quienes tengan dudas al respecto pueden comunicarse a través de los correos electrónicos publicados dentro del sitio web del Congreso, ictoc2022.unach.edu.es. A cada uno de ustedes les deseamos una excelente mañana. Les agradecemos una vez más por estar acompañándonos dentro de este congreso, por ser partícipes de las actividades, por haber aunado su esfuerzo para realizar este importante evento internacional y gracias a ustedes una vez más nos convertimos en una de las mejores universidades de América Latina. Les deseamos un excelente día y les invitamos también a ser parte ya de la primera conferencia esta mañana. Muchas gracias a todos una vez más.
Muy buenos días con todos. Muchísimas gracias por estar en el IC Talk 2022. Vamos a dar paso al máster Yuri Santiago con su exposición Plataforma de Educación en Pará, Brasil. Damos paso también al PhD Ramiro Isa para su respectiva presentación. Muchas gracias.
Good morning. Can you hear me? So it's 9 o'clock in Brazil right now. I think it's my time to do the presentation. And then...
Thank you, Yuri. Yeah, it's your time. Thank you so much. Now we will be with you, Professor, with your partner in this conference. If you wait just 1 second, please.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you so much, Yuri, to be here.
Okay, it's my pleasure. Don't worry about it. Let me know when my time is the right time to start, okay?
Buenos días a todos. Good morning, Yuri. Please second, please. Muy buenos días a todos. Les queremos dar la cordial bienvenida, señoras autoridades de nuestra escuela, de nuestra facultad, estimados alumnos, público presente. Queremos darles la bienvenida a la primera conferencia de este segundo Congreso Internacional de Innovación, Investigación y Tecnología, IC Talk 2022. En este caso, la primera conferencia va a ser presentada por el doctor Yuri Santiago de la Universidad Federal de Pará, Brasil. El doctor Santiago es profesor permanente de la Universidad Federal de Pará, clase A, en el Instituto de Ciencias Sociales aplicadas a la Facultad de Administración. Es también doctorando en la Universidad Nova, en Lisboa. Tiene una maestría en planificación por la Universidad Federal de Río de Janeiro. Tiene una MBA también en Administración de Marketing Estratégico. Y es graduado en Comunicación Social por la Universidad de Pará. El tema de esta charla se va a abordar el tema de la plataforma Enem Pará. Esta plataforma ha sido creada durante la pandemia COVID-19 con el objetivo de democratizar el conocimiento que permita a los alumnos acceder al sistema de educación pública en el estado de Pará con los contenidos preparatorios dentro del examen nacional de enseñanza media. Esta plataforma presenta contenidos en forma de videoclases, material de lectura, simulaciones y ejercicios de diversas áreas del conocimiento producidos por docentes experimentados y capacitados. Ahora vamos a proceder a una presentación en inglés también. Good morning, everyone. We welcome you to the first conference of the second IC Talk 2022 International Congress on Innovation, Research and Technology, presented by Dr. Yuri Santiago from the Federal University of Pará, Brazil. Dr. Yuri Santiago is a permanent professor at the Federal University of Pará, class E, at the Institute of Applied Social Science of the Faculty of Administration. He is also a PhD candidate at the Nova University in Lisbon. He has a master's degree in planning from the Federal University of Rio de Janeiro. He has an MBA in strategic marketing management, and he has a degree in social communication from the University of Pará. The topic of this talk is Plataforma Enem Pará. This platform has been created during the COVID-19 pandemic with the aim of democratizing knowledge that allows students of the public social system in the state of Pará to have access to preparatory content for the National High School Examination Enem. This platform presents content in the form of video classes, reading material, simulations, and exercise in the various areas of knowledge produced by experienced and trained teachers. Then we welcome Dr. Yuri Santiago. Bienvenido entonces el Dr. Yuri Santiago con su conferencia.
Okay, muchas gracias. Thanks for your presentation. As you know, I'm from Brazil, and I can understand almost 100% in Spanish, but I don't feel able to explain in Spanish, so I ask you a pardon to explain in English. It's not my mother tongue, as you know. My mother tongue is Portuguese, as you know. I already been present, and in the next minutes, around 50 minutes, 20 minutes, I will share with you this example, this kind of how we facing the pandemic time in terms of how we create opportunity to students in particular, students from public schools to keeping studying during the pandemic and how we face that. And let's gonna see what we did here in Brazil, in Pará State, where I'm come from. Okay, let's see. We're gonna talk about a platform, an e-learning platform called Enem Pará. And you can see nowadays it's open. You can make your registration at www.enempara.net.br. Let's see what we have here. So first of all, we'd like to share that here in Brazil, we have a historically situation where public schools are very different from private schools here in terms of quality of education, because the private ones, majority of times, has the better education, and public schools, like I said, historically, they have worst education. And we have many reasons for that. So, but when the pandemic comes, this difference become more clear, because the face-to-face classes has to stop. And then students from public schools, they don't have any way to keep studying. And every year we have an exam here called Enem. It's a national exam here to high education, to ingress in high education. So in order to offer to those students, especially those from public schools, we here in Brazil developing this platform, we funding from the government. So let's see what we have in this platform and how we develop it. So as I said, the main objective was to create an online framework able to well prepare for the National High School Exam, called Enem. Again, as I said before, in particular for those who cannot afford private learning platforms. This exam, Enem, determines the student's interest in higher education. The better grade, the better universities students are able to go. So the problem were how we can support these students, how we can balance the chance between students from the private schools and students from public schools in order to give them a chance, opportunity to keep studying. So talk a little bit further about the Enem. Is the National High School Exam here in Brazil. The aim is to evaluate students, the students who are completing high school in public and private schools in Brazil. This exam is applied by the Ministry of Education, Brazil. The exam, the results from this exam can be used as a gateway to enter in the university, and the results, your grades on Enem, can also provide you students a scholarship from a program here that we call it University for All. So depends on your grades in this exam, you can get a scholarship, or it will decide which university you're able to go. So that was the problem. Because of the pandemic, we don't have any more schools, open schools. And the public schools here in Brazil, especially here in the North region where I'm come from, we don't have any kind of platform to offer the students. So they are facing the end of the year, the exam. The exam will be determined which university they could go, students could go, but they don't have any way to keep studying Because of that, we developed this platform. That is the problem, the main objective that we try to reduce here. So, as I said, nowadays it's open and still working, this platform. So by clicking on enempara.net.br, it's possible to access the platform and the login page. Also, you can find the home screen. You can find the way to make your login and recover your password if you lose for any reason. So here we have some page just to take a look at, and then we can open the platform to see better. But in the registration form, we collect some personal information, include gender, date of birth, occupation, employment status, schooling, address, ID, and so on. So when you put this data, your data, when you try to be a student using this platform, and moreover, I will explain why we collect this data, because we try to work correlating this data and the performance from the students. But when you do this, you're able to start to study and use the platform. See what we have next. So initially, we have a video explain in detail how it works, how the platform works, and what will be found on the platform. Also, on the home screen, you can see how many classes you have been completed. You can see your overall average in the exercise, and as well, you can see your performance in many ways, because as I will explain, you see we have simulations here, we have quizzes, tests here, we have many different forms to identify the students' performance in the platform, and it will be very useful in order to reinforce, and I will explain how. So we gathered together 15 subjects like biology, mathematics, history, and other 13 subjects that they are preview and the school curriculum, and they will be measured, your knowledge measured in the exam, the national exam that I told you in the beginning. So what we did, we gathered together more than the 20 teachers, and we organized 1,239 classes recorded for each one of them 15 subjects. More than that, in the platform, we put available live classes weekly. So in order to reinforce some weakness, some learning weakness from the students. For instance, we can analyze from Power BI, for example, using Power BI, and see which subjects, like biology, for example, oh, we can see the students are not very well in the quizzes. We have, after each classes, each video record classes, you have a multiple choices quizzes. So in the end, we can see how many error questions are for each subject, and we provide, especially for those subjects, live classes with teachers live in teachers class to reinforce content and answer students' questions 1 time a week. So On one hand, we have more than 100 video classes available. And on the other hand, we have these lives classes. Let's see. Here again, they are distributed like this. You have 15 subjects here. I don't know if you can see very well, but you have mathematics, biology, history, and all the 15 subjects that Enem, this exam, national exam, will test the students. Let's see next. So we organized the contents over these 15 subjects in a list. So you have, for example, the more content you have on mathematics and Portuguese and history, for example. So we have more video classes about these contents. And they are divided exactly how we have in the program, in the exam program. So we have first class, second class, third class, and you only can open the second class when you finish the first one. And in order to finish the first one, you have to do the multiple choice quiz. And because of the multiple choice quiz, we can measure, we can analyze the results from each student and from every student in terms of comparing where we have to reinforce. Also, we try to do in an accessible way, thus translated into Brazilian Sign Language. It's the people with hearing disability. I don't know if you can see here, but let me try to. In the bottom right, you can see this translates to people with disability hearings. We have more than 200 students with this kind of disability, and this platform worry about that. So in addition to the video classes, we have materials, we have contents to support the students. For example, every teacher use it in their classes, slides, presentation slides. So the students can use and can see and can make a download, for example. Also, the teacher use contents, write contents like papers, for example, like articles, for example. And in the same way, the students could download these contents in order to help them to keep studying and reinforce their learning. And remind you, you cannot open the second class if you not finish the first one. It's a way that we find to push the students to finish the content and to make sense, because the second class, it's always related with the first one. So you only can watch the second one when you finish the first one. When more than that, you have to make the exercise. And by the exercise, by analyze the exercise, we can understand better how the students are doing in terms of learning. So here we can have an example that what kind of exercise we made available. You see here, in these national exams, you have multiple choice quizzes. So exactly where, like the Enem exam, we prepare questions like Enem exam with multiple choice. So again, in the end of each video class, you have to do exercise. to see and to help us to understand if you got the content, if you understand, if you're learning the content. That is the point. So here we have a question, and we have a multiple choices here. And of course, you have only one right, and then you receive your automatic feedback if you do it right or if you made wrong. And then we have ways to reinforce, to push them to keep going, and so on. It's a kind of artificial intelligence system that automatically reschedules, reinforces class on the content. Let me explain a little bit further. Let's see, we program the system, and when the students, for example, when the students made errors greater than 15%, the system automatically sent to them, to these students, a reinforced class, a new video class. In the end of this new video class, we put again another multiple question, again to see if whether the students understand learning the content or not. That is the main objective here. I don't know what happened. I made something wrong. I cannot. Okay, here. So as I told you, we try to help those students, in particular those come from public schools, and the target is how to well prepare them to make the national exam, because this national exam is the gateway to entrance in a university, public or private. And if you get a private university, depends on your grades, you can get a scholarship. Saying this, what we try here with these simulations, because we have more than 20 years this exam here in Brazil. So we have 20 years of experience to push them, to prepare them, and to well prepare them. So in this platform, the students can find the preview quizzes, the preview tests, the preview exams. Again, it's an effort to give them opportunity to try in a real way how they will find in the day of the test. So here we find another characteristic of the platform in terms of we try to do a kind of gamification here, because we believe that when you compare yourself, when you engage, you can engage more when you see how the other students are doing in terms of engaging, in terms of grades, and in terms of using the platform. So when you're made your presentation, you can choose you wanna or not to participate this kind of ranking. It's a gamification. So you can choose, no, I don't want to anyone see my performance. I don't want to participate this kind of gamification, this kind of competition. No, I don't want to be part of this. Okay, you're right. No problem about that. So, but we have more than 90% of the students, they agree with participate this ranking. So by this ranking, everybody can see everybody performance. And then we have this kind of competition, a gamification. And you see, we already know the guys, the people, the students who accepted to participate, they engage more. This competition works better for those do not want to participate. that is a lesson that we had with this gamification here. So again, on the home screen, the students can see how it was your performance, how are you in terms of correlation with another's participate, other students in the platform, and how was in average your performance and see, watching video classes, how many more you have to do to finish one subject for biology, for example, and so on. So we are at the second year using this platform, and we learn a lot on the first year. For example, we facing the problem that especially poor students, they don't have sometimes even a device, even a smartphone, and even they have uh, a data to use, they don't have internet access. That's a huge problem. And we try to reduce this problem, development application for smartphone. So by using the smartphone, by making the downloads from this application, when you have internet, for example, you can do the download lessons, the contents for your cell phone. And when you have time, for example, you as a student, you have time and you don't have internet, you are offline, for example, if you have this application on your smartphone, this app, of course you can use. So we try to learn year after year. Even nowadays that we don't have, we start to begin the face-to-face classes again here in Brazil, step by step. It's not, for example, in my university, we still having classes, online classes. So this platform is still very useful and necessary in order to help the students. So then the second stage of this platform, we have an application for smartphones. So here we can observe, because we have a dashboard, and from dashboard we can have many kinds of informations from the dashboard. Here, for example, we can understand, we can see how many students we have per city, because the state of Pará has more than 140 cities, 144 cities to be very precisely. So we can see here, Belém is the capital. We have more students from the capital, for example. And why it is important? It's important because we have to know where we have to reinforce, for example, the publicity of this platform. Because believe it or not, most of the students from public school, they don't know that we have this free platform, that free e-learn platform. And I can say very sure that we don't have this kind of free platform in Brazil. It's the first one in Brazil completely with those kinds of e-learnings, those video classes divided for each subject with more than 1,200 video classes. So seeing this, we can reinforce, we can improve our efforts in terms of knowing, to make the people know that they have this opportunity to study. So it's another kind of analysis that we have to do, is see which period the people gonna access and which kind of the device they use, which kind of browse they use, and every milli information, it's very useful for us, because it's not only for offer the students opportunity, but it's also useful to us researchers because we are doing papers, we are developing some kind of correlations. In the end of this presentation, it will be more clear, but by using our dashboard, you can do many correlations and get many information like this one here. Another information, for example, and for us, at least for us, it was a little bit curious because most of the users, they become from females gender. They are females. We don't know exactly why, but that is the point. We find this. And you can see here, in the chart here, you have more than 65% become to female gender. Here, we can see in the last 30 days, for example, how many students and what time, and if they use on weekends or weekdays. For example, here we find that students use more on weekdays, leaving Saturdays and Sundays with lower rates of access than other days. And we can understand here that it's because on their homes, they don't have internet, maybe. So when we discover something like that, when we realize something like that, we can do a kind of, we can apply a form and ask them why it's happened. It's because they don't want to study in the weekends, or it's confirmed that is because they don't have internet access on their homes and they are at homes on the weekends. So if we can figure it out this, we can get to management, to government, some very useful information in order to find a ways to help them better. And here in Brazil, we have many public politics and try to find, not here in my state, but in other states, the government provides internet access to students. And by this, we can prove, hey, we need your help here. The students need your help here. That's why, because we really believe that's very important to keep understand and to keep doing this and sharing this information in order to help more students. So here a little bit about how we made, and I will read this. The Enem Pará platform was planned to be usable from any device with internet access through a browser. So it was developed using PAP, Cake PAP, and MySQL resources, being compatible with the main video stream service in the market, such as YouTube and Vimeo, and is also compatible with the most common the formats such as PDF, doc, JPG, for the inclusion of the class content. This platform, that's a huge point here, and I'd like to register that because this platform is scalable. It means it doesn't matter how many students we have in platform, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, doesn't matter, because we prepare the structure behind to function, and we don't need face-to-face teachers, we don't need it anymore, because everything is automatically in this platform, even the analysis. So we can keep going and keep sending automatically reinforces and keep doing everything in a scalable way, because it doesn't matter how many students we have here. But we have a technical support, just to let you know. because when I said, oh, we can do everything automatically we can scalable, but we know that some students has some problem in terms of, oh, I have a problem here and I have no one to talk about, no one to reclaim. No, we have a support, and then we can organize again by dashboard, knowing how many questions we have by the one ask, what give us more problem and how we can solve this problem by this dashboard and by this support. Just to let you know that. So here is the next step, and I'm almost finished. Why I said next step? Because now when I say we, because it's not me, the responsible for this platform. We are many professors here at the university, and we are using Microsoft Power BI in order to make correlations between some characteristics of the students and the results from the exercise, from the simulations, and we can see, for example, whether the students who has more access, if they have better results. We can see how many students we have per scholaring. We can see here how many students we have per city, per gender, per religion, and so on. Each question that we made on the questionnaire, on the registration questionnaire, we can correlation with their results. In the end, what we want to do, we want to make a research, we want to find if we have some way to push them to get better results, by analyzing their characters, for example, or their characters, for example, how they use the platform. That is the beauty of the Power BI here. And that next step here, for example, we can make again a correlation between gender and religion and scholaring and so on with their results. And then we can see the end. We can in a positive way say, hey, the more the students watch the video classes, the better are their grades. Or no, or you can say no, doesn't matter if they watch a class or not. The thing is, oh, they can do the exercise, for example. We don't know the truth. We try to find the truth. So we are doing this right now. We are in the middle of this research in order to publish a paper. And because of that, I'd like to thank you for here, Professor Paola. He is my co-orientation in my PhD and a very, very, very great professor. And what are you doing right now? Here more examples that what we can do by using Power BI. And again, I'd like to really thank you for this invitation. I hope I could share this experience here from the States, from Brazil. We are keep doing this platform and keep helping many students here. Nowadays, we have more than 10,000 students using this platform, and I can in a few months we can find how many students by using this platform could get universities and make their life better. That is our main objective. And I'm finished here. That is it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Yuri. Thank you so much for your great presentation. we are knowing more about about the platform. I think it's very interesting because we can have an idea to implement also here in Ecuador. I think it's a very good chance to know about it. I know also that you are working with Google Education, right? I don't know if it is part of that or it is a part of that.
A part of that. We don't have no. It's not part of Google Education. In fact, we can use in a live classes. We use the link from Google Meet. That is the kind of complementation between one another.
Okay. This is very good because I was thinking maybe this can be implemented in Google Education because it is part of that, no? Because will be useful for the academic area. And I don't know, one of my question is that you will implement, you will continue working in this platform. What will be the next step for this one?
So right now we are doing this research using Power BI. In the second year, we developed an application for smartphones. We put this signal for disability hearing. And what we're trying to do now is it's a kind of relationship with some cities, that these cities, the mayors, can provide to students the internet. That is our huge problem nowadays, because the students, most of the time, they have a smartphone, but they don't have internet. So we try to find very hard to find a way to mayors, to the government, give to them this access. Because we prepare the platform, they also have a smartphone, but they don't have access. And you have to have access to watch the video classes, because it's not very light, you know, in terms of data. So that is our next step. So it's more related to an effort with government than effort about, you know, making the platform better. That's, I don't know if I answer your question.
Yeah. But I think it's very challenge because to try to use it without having internet, because you need to, because will be a huge of data. How it can manipulate, I think need a long time of research also. Also that, no, maybe you need to implement different servers in different parts to try to have this, and will be money also, no? Maybe the government is very interesting of this, because will be your next step, we will try to do the education, and very useful with this platform, you know. Thank you so much. I will pass with Ramiro Isa. Will have some interaction with you and some question also. Thank you so much, Yuri. Thank you again. We are working, and you are very, very good on all of this kind of area, this area about this platform, this kind of things, because now it is more company also that you are working, no? And thank you so much again for your intervention. I pass with Ramiro. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, and we are able to help in any way that we could. This platform has a structure behind, you know, and it's free. If you wanted to put other class, for example, it's open. And if you demand that, just let me know, and you can offer for your university, for example, for free. So we have the structure, we have the framework. They are ready. And then if you want to put other classes, it's free. So just let me know, okay?
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. It will be very good for our city and our university. Also, we will try to talk about this, and we'll try to collaborate with you. Thank you so much for your availability.
Bye-bye.
Okay, we are very grateful to Dr. Yuri Santiago for his conference and Paula Vinesa, engineer, for your intervention. It has been very interesting to learn about the development of Enem Plataforma to share academic information and data analytics with the students to prepare them to high school national examination. Now, we would like to have a participation of those present. You can ask your question to Dr. Yuri Santiago. Si alguno, por favor, puede participar quizás con alguna pregunta para el Dr. Santiago respecto de su conferencia. In my case, I have two questions about technical issues. The first one is what storage capacity is required for the platform? And second one is what characteristic does the local server have? Thank you, Yuri.
Maybe Ramiro, if you try to ask again, maybe I think he.
Yes, sorry. I'm not sure if you're doing a question. Could you do again?
Okay. The first one is what storage capacity is required to the platform? And second one is what characteristics does the local server have?
So if I got right, you asked what kind of devices could use the platform in terms of PC and smartphones. Is that correct? The first question?
Yes, thank you.
So actually, I cannot say to you in a very precise way, but in terms of how many space on your AD you have to have, and one thing I can absolutely affirm, it is you have to have the Windows 10, and it's very light system. And when you choose to make the downloads on your smartphone, so that you have to have at least 32 space in order to play this and to download some classes. The second question is about, could you repeat, please? Sorry.
It's about the characteristics of local server in order to save this information, videos, and documents. What characteristics in general the server have?
Okay, sorry again. What is the characteristics about the contents save? I didn't get it very well. You can, as I told you, you can try to speak in Spanish because I can understand Spanish. I cannot speak, but I can understand. What do you think?
¿Qué características tiene el servidor local para poder guardar esa información?
Ah, sí. No, sí. Agora compreendo. Sí, nosotros usamos lo Google. Y se está hablando sobre nube, sobre donde estamos, where we save those informations. We have a Google partner. We are a Google partner here in Federal University, and then we use MySQL. I don't know if it is your question, but we use MySQL here, and we save at Google Drive. I don't know if I got it right.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Some additional question, if someone is having, the audience is having for Yuri. Anita Maldonado, por favor. Por favor, si le activan el audio, por favor, Anita. Yeah. You have one question with Yuri.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm all ears.
Good morning.
I am not escaping this.
Morning. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Morning.
Okay. Congratulations, my dear Yuri. It was a really great presentation. I have a question. This platform let or permit to edit, modify, or include some tasks according to the academic goals in order to grade according to the rubrics in each area or subject?
Yeah, great questions. Yes, 100%, 100%. We can edit, we can change things, we can edit exactly on your point, for example. Yes, you can do this. And actually we are doing this. It's completely possible, completely possible. Yeah, good question.
Thank you so much. And someone else would want to do other question? Yeah. Okay, if it's no more question, I want to give you again the thanks for your collaboration, for your disposition to be here in this IC Talk 2022. I hope that we can have the other chance to be together in this kind of event. And I am very proud of you for your presentation. Now I am knowing more about you. You have this very good value for this. Thank you so much, and we will talk later. And thank you for all of you to be here in the presentation of Yuri. Gracias a todos por esta presentación y les vemos en la próxima presentación que será con Diego Moya. Por favor, no olviden registrar su asistencia, que será al inicio y al final de cada una de las conferencias. Muchísimas gracias y les vemos en la próxima charla. Thank you so much. I hope to have you in the other speakers.
Okay, you can count on me. Bye bye. Gracias, muchas gracias. Hasta luego.
Gracias.
La Dirección de Posgrado de la Universidad Nacional de Chimborazo oferta el programa de maestría, Auditoría de Tecnologías de la Información, una maestría académica con trayectoria de investigación, dirigida a profesionales con títulos de tercer nivel en áreas como sistemas, informática, tecnologías de la información y otros campos del conocimiento relacionados con las TICs. Ven y sé parte de la maestría académica con trayectoria de investigación, Auditoría de Tecnologías de la Información,